and save the goat!
Send them back! 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 Send them back!
We've got patriots in the car park. Best Western lockdown.
Police are going to kick off at me.
Are they in there?
Where's the rapists? Where are they? Get out of here, cunts!
Well, there you go. This is GB News Originals. I'm Emily Carver. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And do leave a comment. Let me know what you think.
Stay out!
Easy with that.
These illegal immigrants have 3 square meals a day, mobile phone, new trainers, free taxis, free driving lessons, and the list goes on. Deport every foreign criminal in a jail.
So anyway, well, thank you ever so much for coming out and supporting this protest in Long Eaton today. It was organised by a very young chap, and we're all really proud of how he's done today. And he'd like to have a few words on the mic. I would like to say, well, he's Mr. Union Jack, but we'll know him as a guy called Lewis, and he's done really, really well today. So give Lewis a hand.
Hello, Patriots! I hope you enjoyed the march. I did. I know I did. All the police are on the run. Run, coppers, run. That march is amazing. Long Eaton Patriots deserve that the whole way. We've been stood here for over a year now.
Adam, thank
every
you.
single week. Approximately about 10 to 20 of us. So this number right here in Long Eaton is incredible. And I want to thank everyone so much for attending. I've got one more thing to say. Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Thank you.
Long Eaton, the small town now at the centre of Britain's biggest argument. Right, let's get into it. There's a hotel in a quiet Derbyshire town that most people outside the Midlands had never heard of a year ago. Now it's become a flashpoint. Cameras outside, police lines, chanting crowds, and a national conversation playing out on one stretch of pavement. Today we're talking about Long Eaton, and what's actually happening there once you strip away the noise. Before we go further, if you're new to this channel, welcome to Britain Underneath. What we do here is simple. We take the stories the news skims past in 30 seconds, and we slow down long enough to actually understand them. If that's the kind of channel you want in your feed, subscribe now, because this one's worth staying for. Right, let's dive in. So here's the situation. A hotel in Long Eaton has been used to house asylum seekers, people going through the UK's legal asylum process, waiting on decisions about their status, placed there under Home Office contracts while their cases are processed. Over recent months, that hotel has become the site of repeated protests. Crowds gathering outside, some carrying flags, some chanting. Police officers standing between demonstrators and the building itself.
White lives matter! 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 Gotta stop the vote!
And save the goat!
Send them back! 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 Send them back!
We've got patriots in the car park. Best Western lockdown.
Police are going to kick off at me.
Are they in there?
Where's the rapists? Where are they? Get out of here, cunts! Stay out!
Easy with that.
Dirty bastards! Dirty!
These illegal immigrants have 3 square meals a day, mobile phone, new trainers, free taxis, free driving lessons, and the list goes on. Deport every
So anyway, well, thank you ever so much for coming out and supporting this protest in Long Eaton today. It was organised by a very young chap, and we're all really proud of how he's done today. And he'd like to have a few words on the mic. I would like to say, well, he's Mr. Union Jack, but we'll know him as a guy called Lewis, and he's done really, really well today. So give Lewis a hand.
Hello, Patriots! I hope you enjoyed the march. I did. I know I did. All the police are on the run. Run, coppers, run. That march was amazing. Long Eaton Patriots deserve that the whole way. We've been stood here for over a year now.
Adam, thank
every
you.
single week. Approximately about 10 to 20 of us. So this number right here in Long Eaton is incredible. And I want to thank everyone so much for attending. I've got one more thing to say. Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Thank you.
It's not an isolated case either. Long Eaton has become one entry in a much longer list that now includes Epping, Diss, Lunally, and towns right across the country, all wrestling with the same question at the same time. Quick pause. Before we go deeper, if you're finding this useful, tap subscribe now. Britain Underneath only keeps doing this kind of digging if people like you decide to stick around. Okay, back to Long Eaton. Here's what makes this story worth your attention, rather than just your outrage. This isn't really about one hotel. It's about a system that residents feel was imposed on them, without warning, without consultation, and without a clear end date.
Local councils across the country have said the same thing again and again, that they learned about these placements through a brief email from Whitehall, not through any genuine conversation. That's a legitimate grievance, and it deserves to be treated as one, regardless of where you sit politically. People are entitled to ask hard questions about how decisions get made in their own communities. But here's the other side of it, and it matters just as much. Inside that hotel are people who didn't choose the politics they've been dropped into the middle of. Asylum seekers in Derbyshire hotels have described feeling increasingly frightened to leave their rooms. One man, staying at the Long Eaton Hotel, spoke about how unsettling it is to watch protests build outside his window on a near-daily basis. Not the Britain he expected to find when he arrived seeking safety. These are two real human experiences happening in the same postcode, and a serious conversation about this issue has to be able to hold both at once. That's the bit that gets lost in a lot of the coverage. It gets flattened into slogans, for or against, patriot or traitor, right or wrong, when the reality on the ground in Long Eaton is far messier and far more human than any hashtag will ever capture. Before we push on, seriously, if this kind of grounded, no-shouting breakdown is what you're after, this channel is for you. Hit subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep making videos like this one, instead of chasing whatever's trending. Right, let's keep going. What's striking about Long Eaton specifically is how ordinary it looked before any of this started. Not a political hotspot.
Not a city with a long history of demonstrations. Just a town going about its business. Until a Home Office contract turned it into a stage for a national argument nobody there asked to host. That's the pattern we keep seeing across Britain right now. Communities that had no say in a policy decision suddenly living at the centre of it, while politicians hundreds of miles away in Westminster use their town's name in speeches and headlines. And that's really the story underneath the story. Long Eaton isn't unique, it's a symptom. Housing pressure, strained local services, a genuine and unresolved national debate about how asylum accommodation should work, all of it converging on ordinary high streets that never had a vote on any of it.
Whichever way you lean on the politics, that structural problem, communities finding out about major decisions after the fact, is worth being angry about on its own terms. So where does this go from here? More towns will likely find themselves in Long Eaton's position before this is resolved. More councils will push back. More residents, on every side of this, will keep showing up outside hotel gates with placards, because right now, that's the only lever anyone feels they have. This isn't a story with a tidy ending in sight, which is exactly why it's worth watching closely, rather than scrolling past.